Those are cool. What are those?
They're actually just webcams.
Oh, crazy.
But they're a bit nicer than...
Studio quality.
This is this pretty amateur affair here.
We did like for motion capture and facial capture, they put like something like this but a little thinner on like this helmet thing. And then it comes up and it's like a little camera like that, but it's like it's a bit smaller than that, but
yeah,
it's like that size.
You can get some decent quality in a small package. I think these were $90 each.
After all of
That's
that.
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the whole kit and caboodle, like not including the computer, was like $500. That's reasonable, I think.
It sounds expensive to me because I'm broke, but it's really good for equipment. People spend like 10 grand.
Yeah,
shit on
that's what I
equipment.
realized.
Yeah.
I'd go on forums. They're like, they'd have beginner, amateur, and professional kits.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't even afford amateur, not even close to professional.
But you don't even need that stuff. Like there was a guy on who had a film at Sundance called Tangerine, and he filmed it all on an iPhone.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Really, really good. Like it's the guy who did the Florida Project, actually.
Oh, okay,
You've
cool.
heard of the Florida Project?
No, I'm just pretending to.
Yeah. I always like looking around.
Well, she's not
it's great film. Yeah.
Hey, quit making noise.
So they must have just had really good lighting to have like.
They like had to like adjust some things on it and stuff, but yeah, like the coloring is like really cool, and they shot a lot by natural light, and it's super interesting to hear them talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
But he did it, and he used like real actors in. Oh, are we starting?
We just throw a roll into it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, sorry. Hi.
One rule: don't hit. Try not to hit the table.
Yeah.
Because this
Like,
thing is
I'm
not.
joking. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The cameras will shake everywhere.
Yeah.
They'll feel like they're having a beer with us.
Who, them or?
Yeah, the people
Who's
watching.
they?
Oh.
Shaking.
We're live streaming, actually. Just kidding. We're not. We don't even have enough viewers or
Like
subscribers.
Rochelle's
to
at
get
home
live
watching
stream.
like her friends speak.
Yeah. Actually, we had Rochelle on.
I know that. I saw that.
What'd you think?
I just I actually didn't have time to watch because I was finishing some stuff up, but I just went on the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I do want to watch it though, because I actually think Rochelle would be really interesting to hear speak about nursing.
Yeah, and just life.
Oh, actually, no, I did. Sorry, I know I hit the table.
It's okay.
I didn't notice.
I actually watched the beginning of it, and you guys spoke about BMI.
Oh yeah.
And that was actually really cool.
You like
because
that?
she brought up like what if an amputee like obviously they're gonna have a lower BMI.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I never thought about that.
It's silly. The BMI is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is really stupid. And then also like our friend Tara, who was a professional athlete. Like,
Yeah.
Her sorry, Trish isn't there. I'm doing an awful job. So Tara, who's an athlete, like she was like obese, and she was like in better shape than all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
And it's silly for like young girls who like can't differentiate that, and it's like part of their body image. This number that means nothing.
Yeah, it is quite awful, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it supports like a mental health towards body image or weight or what's really it's kind of
especially
sad.
when everyone is so different and you're just gonna like use height and weight.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I'm not interested.
It's like the treadmills. It's like, how do you know I'm burning that many calories when I just put in my height?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, not even when I just put in my weight.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Although when my Runkeeper says I burn 350 calories, I definitely believe it.
When you're what?
I'm dying. My Runkeeper app.
What's your Runkeeper app?
It tracks your run.
Oh.
Like your distance, and you put in your height and weight.
Oh, that's
and it gives
cool.
you estimated calories.
Oh.
But it feels like I'm dying when I'm running.
Right, and so
I'm
you're
definitely
like 350, you're like 700.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I believe that.
Yeah.
But it's probably off. It's because it's always just an estimation.
Yeah, but I guess it's like the whole, if we're going to like talk about health, it's like the whole, like you can eat, like I once had someone ask me like, so technically I could eat 2 cinnamon buns a day and nothing else and like have my, like reach the calorie intake and stay a certain weight. And I'm like, sure, but like you would either like have weight in weird areas, or you would like lose muscle man, your problem.
If you had one addiction, what would it be? Not that you have an addiction, but if you think
that's interesting.
One thing you would get addicted to, what would it be?
Like a type of substance, or like
an
or
activity,
or an activity or something?
Like something
like something I would like to get addicted to, or something like
you think would most likely you would get addicted to if you had to get addicted to anything.
Like if I tried something. I feel like heroin because everyone gets addicted.
No,
to
don't be
heroin.
like the most addictive thing. What would you get addicted to? Because it's like that's your personality. Like, would you get addicted to food?
I think I would.
Some people are addicted to food.
No, totally, for sure they are. I think I'm too like afraid of gaining weight to fully be addicted to food.
Right.
But I do think I have like a little bit of a sugar addiction. Like I love sugar. I read that, and I'm quite afraid of having Alzheimer's. Actually, my grandpa had Alzheimer's, and I don't think like I'll have it. But whenever I forget something, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
I have Alzheimer's.
I've had scares like that too, where I read about even if you had a couple concussions in your life, it can affect you. And I've had concussions in football. Yeah. I've even actually had a concussion. I think I had a concussion once wrestling with Thomas, where I hit the back of my head.
Sure.
And like I was knocked.
I dummied him.
I got knocked out. Yeah, he choked me unconscious.
For real?
And then I smashed my head and I fell unconscious.
Is this for real?
This is real.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
And so sometimes when I forget something, I think, is it because like I got hit in the head too much for playing football, or some scenarios like that?
It might.
It's kind of scary.
I feel like we all forget things though. Like in the sense that like we all like forget these little things, and then things that are really important or like just stupid mundane things, like we remember them. Like little moments.
Yeah.
Or if someone like asks you a very specific question, then you can answer. But if you think, like I think about my year and I'm like, I forget everything. But if someone asks you like something really specific.
Yeah.
This is an awful example.
No, I'm
someone
picking up what you're throwing
like
down. Yeah.
Really specific,
you remember
then
it.
you remember.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I wonder, it's like, do you remember less, or do you just have more information coming at you? Like, because your life gets busier and busier, it seems. So is it like you have more information, you can't remember it all, so it feels like you're forgetting more because there's more information and you're already at your threshold?
Right, like you're like, I'm 20 whatever, and like my brain is full.
Yeah, well,
I hope that's not how it works.
No, I mean, like when you're 20, you have like 5 things to remember, so you remember them all.
Oh,
but
I
when you're
understand what
30,
saying.
you have 50 things to remember, and you remember 15. So you're actually forgetting more. But
you're remembering more as well. Then.
Yeah, it just feels like you're forgetting more because you're busy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I have absolutely no evidence of this, but it's something I've thought about to make myself feel better.
This is a scientific podcast, and today we'll be speaking about what we think about memory.
Absolutely profound.
This is going in Scientific America. You heard it here first.
Reference this. Yeah, it's legit. Yeah.
This is going on Wikipedia.
It probably is. Some idiot will like be like, put it on Wikipedia, and then we'll be like, that's us.
We did that.
We did it.
We said wrong things that were wrong.
Yeah.
And people believed us.
Yeah. The internet's a lie, though.
Yeah, it can be. So you grew up in Calgary?
Yep.
And you decided to move far away and pursue, I don't want to say it incorrectly, acting? Being an actress?
I think so.
Not actress.
Did I scare you? Yeah.
No, this is raw. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say whatever.
I acted. You can, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what drove you to do that?
Okay, so, yeah, I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, and then I actually saw, this is going to sound silly, I saw Pirates of the Caribbean when I was like 11 or 12 in a theater in Victoria with my aunt, and I remember thinking like that it was just the coolest thing ever, and that it would be so much fun, and I knew it was a job, but I was like, oh, that would, like, I want to do that. And part of it was because I was like, Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom are really hot, and I would be down to work with them someday and marry Orlando Bloom. And I was like 13, and I did the math. I was like, okay, so I was 12 and he was 13 years older than me. So then this also led into me being obsessed with, I know I'm not really answering your question right now.
That's okay. Keep it going. This is interesting.
I got like these life-size posters of Orlando Bloom. Trish might remember this. And I had them on my walls, and it was like Orlando Bloom, like with a pillow, like floating in clouds. And
wow.
And but needless to say, like they're, as I know that like the Disney and Marvel films and all that are, they're not like, you know, there's like the film buffs who are like, oh, they're just like these they're just entertaining and no
Yeah.
meaning. But I think there's a huge value in how, like, they are extremely entertaining, but they're so much fun, and you, like, I left like so inspired to do something creative because these people were so creative with the film. Like, the first Pirates of the Caribbean was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
And Johnny Depp's performance, like,
Yeah.
he didn't win an Oscar is surprising.
Yeah. That happens sometimes when it's like Disney does it.
Yeah.
It feels like for some reason people don't give it the credit because it's a Disney movie and
Yeah,
there's not like
it's
deep,
like a
dark seeds.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it feels anyways as an outsider that it doesn't get the credibility because of sort of the branding of it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think like that it's a massive studio film, like all this money, and it's like all the star power and everything.
Yeah. It's not this like indie film that came up from nothing and has all
and
these
there's
like
this really cool story behind it. It's like, Johnny Depp in particular, his performance and Orlando Bloom's good looks
definitely
kind of inspired me to like start looking into acting and stuff. And I thought like what a cool job that would be. And then I started doing acting in schools and stuff. And I actually went to an agency that, unfortunately, like they made me read a McDonald's commercial and I like sucked balls. And I wish I also didn't say that. I wish I had used
it's okay. I suck
more.
balls too.
Was that off camera or on camera?
You can leave that on. You can do whatever you want with that.
It's okay. I suck balls from time to time too.
Just a little bit.
Sometimes I suck massive balls.
Yeah, so I sucked balls at this McDonald's thing. And so they put me into modeling instead of acting. So then I kind of had like a little side path off onto that for a little bit. And I still pursued. I still did like drama in school. And the school plays and all that. But I actually wanted to go to the Guildhall in London, which is like this very prestigious school that Orlando Bloom went to. And I thought because Orlando Bloom went there and got to be in Pirates of the Caribbean, that my life would take the same course. It hasn't. I'm not in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Big dreams. You gotta have.
And I'm not Orlando Bloom.
They're still making them though. It's not over.
I know. I actually thought that. I'm like, there's a little bit of hope.
You gotta have big dreams. You gotta have big dreams.
Gosh, I would honestly like I would take any Pirates of the Caribbean job. Like if they were like, hold this light, I'd be like, yes.
Be one of the skeletons. I'll do it.
I'll do it. How much weight do I have to lose? Yeah. Such a bad joke.
Awesome.
So then I ended up trying out for different schools and writing different universities, and I finally decided to go to the neighborhood playhouse theater, which is Meisner's theater. And Meisner was one of the, just a little history lesson, was one of the members of the group theater, which was a bunch of these like great people in the acting world in New York who kind of formed this group, and a lot of really great actors and writers and teachers and stuff came out of it, and Meisner was part of the group theater, and so he opened this school. And so it's an acting technique. So, like Robert Duvall went there. The guy in Jurassic Park. Oh my God, I love him, and I'm forgetting his name.
The scientist?
No, the younger guy. He's in like a ton of stuff still. He did like
Chris Pratt.
No, the old.
I was assuming the old.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna think of his name, and if I ever meet him, and if he ever for some reason sees this, it's gonna be awful.
Odds people see this are low. That's okay.
So watch him be like the only person who watches it. Like, damn her. I'll think of his name in like 10 minutes and tell you. But so I did that. I did a year of that in New York.
So you moved to New York.
Yeah, I moved to New York when I was 18. So I went
out of high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a scholarship from school, the only drama scholarship, which I was very proud of that.
Wow.
It wasn't a lot of money, but I felt like that was kind of like I was going in the right direction if I got a little positivity.
Yeah. So you realized you're going to New York. What was the next step? Like you went to the Manhattan Classifieds. Like how did you handle that?
Well, I went to the first 2 years. Like first year, I went down to New York, did school, and then was invited back. So I was back in Calgary for the summer and went back and did the second year. So graduated from the neighborhood playhouse, and then it was like looking back, like I was super positive about it, and like you have all these hopes and dreams and you think everything's going to work out.
Right.
And if I knew what I know now, like I would have been like, I probably would have quit.
Really?
But I don't know, maybe that's a little harsh. I might have moved back to Canada earlier.
Okay.
Because New York is such a big market. There's so many actors, and a lot of actors with great resumes, that coming out of a school without representation, I actually ended up getting decent representation and getting some work in New York, which I was really lucky to have. And I did an off-Broadway play,
Oh, good.
which was really, really great. But then it's just like there's a lot of actors there. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of people. And I basically, I was submitting on like the, like Actors Access and Mandy.com and like anywhere I could possibly find places to submit for acting jobs, I would do that. I would do free work. I would take any work I could possibly get, like
Right.
for experience and real material,
Yeah.
like demo material. But it was hard. Like it's expensive to live there. So
Yeah. It's expensive and you don't have consistent work.
no,
Like, at
never.
all.
Like I worked I had a ton of jobs in New York, and then my parents also helped me out, which I was
Yeah.
super lucky for. So they sent me money.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, what
Yeah,
choice
what
do
you
you
gotta do? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it like to live that life where you're just, it seems like most of the time you're trying to get a role or something, like you have to do, is it true you have to deal with a lot of rejection or
Yeah,
Yeah?
for sure.
does that discourage you? Like how does that play out over a year or more? Or however?
Yeah, like never, like now it doesn't discourage me. Like I'll sometimes feel disappointed,
Okay.
but I know that casting it has to do with so many things that it's not actually personal. Like it's generally, if you've like I consistently keep working, like I consistently keep training and working on my skill set and my technique, and so it's generally doesn't so much have to do with your talent, but like you're either just not right for the role, or they go with a different look, or like
It's who you know or something.
Or it can be who you know. It could be like, who knows? It could be like the producer just like has an aunt he hates that looks like you. Like, just it can be nothing. Like I was helping cast a film that I'm gonna be working on. I was there for the auditions and reading with the actors and stuff, and we after watched all the tapes and we're just discussing them, and there's like most actors, it's actually so beautiful to see, like they care so much about their work, and they bring in like really, really good work, and then you have to pick one person. And so when you see that, and from a perspective of a writer or co-producer, or even another actor who like is watching from a different perspective, you see that it doesn't really have anything to do with their talent.
Okay.
Which I think immediately is like the number one thing, is people think like, oh, I suck. And I don't actually think that that's generally the case.
Right. It just, there's so many other factors.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it could, like if you're really bad, then maybe it's because you suck. But if you like,
Because you could pick a lot of people for a role, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah, and a lot of people could do the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably like in any other business. A lot of people could probably do a job, but they kind of
that's true.
Whittle it down.
That's true.
Yeah.
Especially unless you're extremely technically specialized, or you're the best. I'll use engineering as an example. You're best electrical engineer. Then they might pick you for that. But for a lot of roles, there's a lot of people that can do them.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. I think the difference that I see, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that a lot of people go through that rejection process and they'll get a job, but they'll have a job for 10 years, right? Like, whereas the gig work, it's like maybe you do, I don't know how long a movie is, months, a year, I'm not sure, or if it's like a couple days for a commercial, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, no,
but then
it all depends.
You're back, you're back in that process.
It's like endless. Yeah,
is that
for
stressful?
Sure. No, like not anymore, I should say, because before, and I don't know if it was stressful before, like I now, like, I love auditioning now. I shouldn't say love. I like enjoy it now. Like, I'd rather just have a job, but I've realized like that it's an opportunity to do what I love. So I generally just have fun with them. Sometimes I feel more pressure if it's for something bigger, and you can't help but be like, oh, this would be such a fun thing to do, like such a great role or whatever. But wait, what was the question? Oh, that
just the stress with it is that.
Yeah, I think you know that you're choosing that. I think, like, I definitely think, like, after a while, like, I've been graduated from school for 8 years now.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So.
Man, time flies. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And the thing that helped me with it, which I think is what, like, I do think it's one reason why I've been able to, like, positively put up with this industry, because it's definitely gotten me down. Like, I actually quit like a year and a half ago. I called my agent. Actually, was it 2 years? 2 years ago, just before I actually did the film that I was going to mention to you.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
I called her and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I found out I didn't get something that I'd had a couple of callbacks for.
Okay.
And I was like, I was just so sick of it. Like, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm sick of being unhappy. I was like, it definitely can cause a bit of anxiety. You don't know where money's coming from all the time, and if you're going to get a job and all this stuff. And so she was like, and same with an acting coach. I talked to my acting coach, like, I don't think I want to do this. And she really said, like, it would make me really sad if you stopped acting.
Yeah, okay.
And her actually, I took a month and I came back to Calgary. And then I realized, I was like, okay, I like got over my emotions and went back and talked to my coach, and that's when she said that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep doing it. And my agent kind of knew I was going to come back. So she had just been like waiting for me to call her and say it was okay. And she was like, yeah, I thought you would be back. And, and then I, like a month and a half later, I booked a bunch of work all at once, and kind of was like a encouragement to keep going. But I do think it's a really hard industry. Like, I wonder if I would recommend to people to do it or not. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, when people have normal 9-to-5 jobs, they get stressed about when there's layoffs like once every 5 to 10 years. Yeah. You know, that stresses the average person out. When you have instability every half decade, and looks like people in your industry and yourself have to deal with instability all the time. So it seems like unless you have some thick skin, or you have to be able to manage that, or you just won't survive. I think so. I think so for sure. And like, I guess for me, I don't know if I finished saying this, was the thing that helped me was that I started writing. Okay. And so that was like a creative outlet that I was able to put my energy towards when I wasn't having auditions or not booking work. Right. I would write, and then started producing things as well. And that kind of, that whole like other side of it gave me the feeling that I was just a little bit more in control of my career. Whether that's true or not, it made me feel like I was able to write something that I would like to play later if I got to or not. Right. Okay. Who knows? And, or if I get to or not, who knows? But that was definitely something that I think helped me get through all that. But I think thick skin, but I don't know if I have thick skin, to be honest, because I get really upset. I've been very happy and lucky or grateful for the work I've had lately, but yeah, like I would definitely like have, a really good cry, like often. Yeah. Yeah. Just frustration. Yeah. I can imagine. Like I couldn't handle it. The ups and downs personally.
Let's try it. Yeah. Andrew's becoming an actor.
No, I wouldn't be a good actor. I'd be like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. You'd be like, can you do this? No. You're hired. No, you're fired. Okay, bye.
All right. I tried.
Yes, I tried. And this is just like you already having work. Like not even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you read this? No, I would give it a shot. But
can you read this McDonald's commercial? Yeah. Like, no, Caitlyn sucked balls at it. And there's no way.
Yeah. What was your McDonald's commercial?
That I read for?
Yeah.
Well, I was like probably 13 and I don't really remember it at all, but it was like a couple lines and I remember like doing like, now I think about it and I'm like, it was horrific. Like I walked to and from like the end of the room. Like, I don't know why this would be relevant in a McDonald's commercial. And I like spoke with my hands, like, now you can buy the McDonald's, like something like really ridiculous.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I actually had a callback for a McDonald's commercial, which I didn't get like the other week, and I thought about it, and I was like, "Is this gonna be all over again?" Like when I was 13.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe I hope it wasn't, but I'll never find out now because I wasn't hired.
Yeah, exactly. So you said, looking back, if you knew what you knew now, you said you might not do it. Like looking back, seeing how hard it was.
Yeah,
so-
I think the ignorance of living in the present moment helps that. Like being, like I was in New York pursuing acting, and that was that. I didn't like think far enough ahead.
Yeah, not even 2 days ahead. You're just living in the moment.
I hope I thought 2 days ahead. Who knows? Yeah, like I do think it's like the ignorance of it, or I shouldn't say the ignorance. I think it's really like hope and dreams that you're going to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then there does become a time where like you've committed so much time and energy to it that you kind of like can't quit.
Yeah, you've
You know?
invested so much.
Yeah, like I don't know what else I would do now. Like I'd have to have, if I wasn't going to act, I'd have to have some kind of job in this industry because I don't know about any. I haven't like learned about any other industry.
Right.
Purpose. I'd be like,
Yeah, you're kind of 8 years into investing time and energy into this. Yeah.
and that's just after school. Like then I put in my years of school and
Yeah.
like not high school. Like I guess it was only 2 years. It's not like I did like a crazy,
That's
you
still,
know,
yeah, it's 2 years.
degree or anything.
So what were looking back over the last 8 years or all these years in your career, what are some of the best times and what were some of the worst times?
That's a good question. Good job. Well, one of the best times was definitely recently, and I did a film, like a super, super independent film.
Okay.
A year and a half ago. We filmed it in Toronto, and I was cast in it as one of the leads.
Oh, right on.
And this other girl was cast as the other lead, and we ended up, because it was such a small production that we kind of ended up taking on multiple roles, and because I now like write as well, so I was doing the same thing then, and I helped finish co-writing the script, and then me and the other lead actress co-produced the film as well.
Yeah.
With the directors. The director also was the writer and producer, Warren Slaticky, and he was like this brilliant artist, and he kind of like got this whole thing together, and we shot it all, and we had high hopes for it, but it's kind of one of those things where you aim high and you like kind of hope that you make it almost there.
Yeah.
And we found out like back not that long ago that we got into the Cannes Marché du Film.
Really?
So that was like
awesome.
super cool. Like
What's the
we
name
were
of the
all
film?
very excited. April and Autumn.
April and Autumn. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I play April, so I come home in autumn, and that's where the name of the film comes from.
That's
And
awesome.
so we were like,
is it called Canes? Canes?
Cannes.
Cannes, sorry.
I think Cannes is like the proper pronunciation, and I think Cannes is like the Calgarian pronunciation.
Yeah, I think it's can.
You know, because
Is it
in Quebec
okay.
people are like Cannes, and I'm like Cannes.
So you got into the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, but not in competition. So there's a bit of a difference. It's
Okay.
the Cannes Film Festival is the biggest film market in the world. So like,
Yeah, I heard about it in Entourage. That's my
Yeah, oh,
extent of
did
my
you?
knowledge.
Great.
Which is another TV show.
I love that. I love Entourage.
it's the
It's like great. I
Yeah.
watch it and I'm like, oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like him becoming Aquaman. And all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's big, apparently, from the show.
Yeah, it's like one of the top film festivals in the world, and we made it into the market, which is really good because it's a place to meet distributors buy and sell your film.
Yeah.
Or sorry, they buy your films and then they get your film seen to the world in different ways.
Yeah.
So that was very, very exciting news.
That's awesome.
for the film.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
I'm really happy. And
That's a big high.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
big
that was
pro,
probably
yeah.
one of the the best moments because after working so hard for so long to like just see a little bit of success, like
Yeah.
a lot of films do go to the market, but in the competition films are the ones that win the awards and get a lot of publicity and stuff. But the market was very good for our film. We had made some good leeway there, and now we're waiting on TIFF, so we like find out by the end of July.
TIFF, what's that?
Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh.
So another great festival to be
Cool.
at. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yes, so it's really good. And then
That's exciting.
Yeah, Telefilm funded that film in the post, and it ended up just being like that kind of is a lesson for like, take any opportunity you get, because it was a small film with a small budget, and it was really just like a lot of people coming together to tell a story they all were really passionate about.
Right.
Everyone taking on multiple things. Like it really made me like I would just love to always work in, not always, I'll take a Marvel film, but if someone's offering, I'm just saying.
You're pro Marvel.
Yeah, I'm pro Marvel, I'm pro Disney, I'm pro superheroes. Yeah.
What's the other one? Legendary films. They do a lot
Pro
of
legendary.
Pro legendary.
Pro DC film. What else?
I'm not superhero biased.
Yeah, I'm pro everything. Yeah.
But
not
it was
pro
really,
everything. I'm just gonna make.
But it was rewarding to get your hands into all the parts of it. Like you said, you had multiple roles. You got to write. So
Yeah,
that
it was
really.
like,
It's like you're one
yeah.
of your like a passion project.
Yeah, like it was definitely Warren's. Like it's Warren's baby, and it's Warren's film, and like he put so much into that film. But it was like contagious. Like we all were so excited about it, and it was like we shot for a long time in like different periods, and it was just so much fun, like, and so collaborative. And it really was a lesson in how, like film, we see film and we see the actors and we hear about the director, and rarely, but sometimes people are aware of who wrote it.
Yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
who shot it. Like, especially like the general public. If you're in the industry, you kind of pay attention a bit more.
Yeah.
But really, like, you're like working as this, it's like massive functioning collaboration, and it was really cool to see that on that film. And now we're working on his next film together, which we're actually going to shoot in Calgary. So that's really cool too, to see like a team that worked really well together be able to go and work on the next project together.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So you have another one coming up.
Yeah.
Same.
We're waiting right now for some funding.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
We've applied for some funding, and we're just gonna wait and
Yeah.
see what comes through, and it's just waiting on financial stuff.
Yeah,
but
totally. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congrats
Thanks.
again. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
You
about
should
it.
be happy. Yeah.
So that's like a positive moment.
What were some of the there's had to be some hurdles as well.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I probably like could lump them all into like one big like miserable pile of shit.
if you could
throw
go,
rocks at them.
if you could go back and like if you were someone that was just starting out, or maybe even telling yourself when you were 18, or anyone that's getting into that industry, what would you?
Don't do it. No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Get out while you can.
What are some things that
it's so rewarding.
you would want to avoid, or just some things personally that were really tough to get through?
Yeah, like hurdles. I think like a main thing that I've maybe had a bit of a little struggle with is that, which is something I would, if wording it in terms of advice, would say like, don't make this the focus. And I don't think I did, but it definitely kind of infiltrated my mind a little bit, was just how you like wait, and you have lots of people like telling you how you're supposed to look, and how you're supposed to dress, and how you should act, and how you should walk, and how, like, I had an agent and like how you should act in like on social media and stuff, and like when you're you're like, no one's looking at my social media, like, and but I had agents, like acting agents, not modeling agents, acting agents, say like, oh, you should probably like go to the gym twice a day, like,
really?
Like things like very, like, yeah, and I just don't think, I hate that for sure, but, and I understand that like this industry does have, there's a bit of pressure for looks, and I understand like the certain reasons behind it and the roles you're playing sometimes filter into that, but it shouldn't be the focus of why you're acting.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like I would say one of like the hurdles that made things hard was that for a while I thought I wasn't getting roles because I was like, I'm not thin enough.
Really?
And that I would, now looking back, it's like, I don't think that was the reason at all. Right?
But just the pressure puts that
The
in your
pressure
mind.
that society,
Yeah.
but also the industry like specifically, and then the people you're specifically working with. Like if an agent tells you this, like, and you haven't
Yeah.
worked enough to kind of know the difference or see when like that's like, now I if someone said that to me, I'd be like, you can't say that to me.
Yeah, totally.
Like you could, if the role requires that, it definitely, you can have a discussion. And I think as an actor, you'd want to do that. Like you would either want to, you'd want to portray the role accurately. And if there was a physical aspect, you would deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Whichever means you need. Like if you're playing, like, I don't know, you go, whatever, who played Tomb Raider? The girl who played Tomb Raider
Lara
trained
Croft?
for however
No,
long.
that's the character.
Oh.
Yeah.
Angelina
Oh,
Jolie?
Laura, yeah.
How about Wonder Woman?
Gal
And-
Gadot.
Yeah.
Like she trained for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, that would have been like a hurdle. Yeah.
So there's definitely some...
Or not a hurdle, that sounds silly, but like
No, that sounds like a hurdle because it's in your
Yeah.
mind.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
it doesn't... It seems like you're not promoting good body image.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
Like-
it's actually something in the industry that I intend to like have a voice about, because I don't think it's, and maybe I felt it more because it was a preoccupation in my mind sometimes.
Right.
But I do think that that women especially feel it. I don't think all, like I have friend actresses.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Boom.
That was smooth.
Actors who it doesn't even cross their mind.
Really?
Like
Wow.
it doesn't like bother them. But I do know that from knowing enough actors that like it is a topic that comes up with people that I don't engage in talking about it anymore because I just think that it doesn't help anything. But I do think like the whole body positive like kind of like movement thing that's going on, I do think it's important. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, especially when you're young and.
Yeah, that's what it really is for.
That's the problem.
It's for young girls who look up to, especially like the big actresses. Like that's really who should be promoting it, is the people who have such a large influence. And I think when you make it to that, like the actors who, I mean, that's a big responsibility to be that successful and have all these people look up to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that's, I think it's present in the industry for sure. And,
So when you're young and you don't know any better and your agent is telling you to like work out and like lose weight, like what are you supposed to think?
Well, I was like, I'm fat. I should go work out.
but like you can't blame the person. Like everyone's telling you that, including an agent, which is trying to get you work. Like you're gonna believe them. That's the problem. That's not.
Yeah.
That seems to be the problem.
Or it's like a fight in your head because you're like, but I feel healthy and I'm going to the gym and stuff, but then apparently it's not good enough, right? And then that's another issue too, is like this whole issue of like that's why it has to be about the work. Like acting has to be about the work. Like it has to be about what you're doing, what the character's doing, what the role is. It can't be distorted by these things like for an agent to say like lose weight to someone. I mean, I don't think anyone should tell someone to lose weight personally. You don't know what someone's been dealt with or anything before.
No, of course not. Yeah.
But I think like that's like a discussion once someone gets the role. I don't know.
No.
I could be mistaken because I don't know that part of the industry well enough. I just know from my experience, like definitely doesn't feel good to.
Yeah.
And then you're like, when do I have time to work out twice a day when I'm like living my life and working at a bar and all
auditioning
these things.
and you're trying to make ends meet otherwise. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Calling your parents for money, like
Yeah.
it's really a hard life. And
It's already tough enough, and then someone tells you that you're not attractive enough or whatever it is. That's not fun. So but the kind of the issue with that other part of it is that movies with like really sexy people sell well.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the really
it's
movies that do well,
kind of thing.
yeah.
And also like it's true, but people like to watch good-looking people.
Yeah, that's And the victims of that are actors and actresses who don't fit the stereotypical beautiful people, model, and then they're told they have to fit that.
Yeah,
and they could be great.
Or they're not told that, and like they're like, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I think they have this like people who have a very unique look have a whole they have this whole other cool realm of acting they can do. Like Johnny Depp is like one of those rare, like really, like if we're gonna talk about looks, like Johnny Depp is very good looking, and he was like able to play character roles, which generally, like from like a type perspective, would be like someone with a very unique look, because it kind of is like within the terms, what is it, like the like story structure is kind of like, that's what like the like it's always been that way, is like who Joseph Campbell talks about it in like I think he has a bunch of books, but he talks about like stereotypes, and I don't think that's the right word, stereotypes, but like basically like
typecasting.
It's like Joseph Campbell talks about it from like a mythological perspective of like myths have always been built and stories have always been built in this way. Like this is the villain, this is the hero, and these are the characteristics of the hero. They're good looking and they're strong, and they have, they're brave and they have good morals. And
so that's ingrained in us.
Is exactly like, that's kind of like for like hundreds or thousands of years, this stuff, stories have been told.
Right, so we're still following that.
Yeah. And it does make for like really good stories.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You see a really good story, and generally like it kind of follows like Joseph Campbell's breakdown of like Star Wars is a great example.
Yeah, so his shell of what storytelling is, all these big hits seem to sort of fall into place.
Yeah, with all these I wish I could think of what like characteristics of what these like stereotypes isn't the right word, but I can't think of what the right word is.
No, I know what you're saying. Like the hero is honorable, and they're they live their life well, and they're good looking, and like all the things that people aspire to be. That's the hero. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because then we can, from a story perspective, then we the audience are like
looking up to that person.
Exactly. We're immediately on their ride. Like we open on them and they've done something good, and we want to back them up. And then when something bad happens to them, we don't think it's fair, and they need to. Because it's like,
that's the classic storytelling.
Yeah. So, and we want them to do well again, and yada yada, and it's
But like when you go back to Johnny Depp and you're saying he's a good-looking guy, and he got to do all these character roles. Did he get those character roles because he can do the character roles, or did it start off that he was good looking?
Who knows? Because his first role was on 21 Jump Street, the television show. I believe that was his first role, and he played like a hot cop dude, I think, or something, or maybe like a badass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, sure, he had this.
Was the opportunity the same? I think for sure there's
asking.
prejudice. I think for sure. I do think that's true. Because Tom Hardy's another example like that, where he does like character roles.
I have a massive man crush on Tom Hardy.
Oh! I was like, did I say something? Because Trish is laughing and you like eyed her. I was like,
No, I love Tom Hardy.
I love Tom Hardy too.
Oh man, he's an alpha male through and through.
He's a dude. I almost swore. He's a fucking dude.
He's a fucking man. Yeah, but I mean, what he's had a lot of acting success recently. Yeah. So I don't know his acting history, but after Inception, I saw him in Inception, where he was like, he had that great masculine, manly persona. And then, well, I don't know if
your girlfriend's like reeling over here.
I don't know if that catapulted his career, but he had a lot of big movies after that. So is it because he's good looking, or is he because he's a good actor? I have not seen Bronson.
Gosh, if you have a crush on Hardy, you should check out Bronson.
I think you have
but Trish shouldn't be present. You just watch that loud.
But I mean, is he getting those roles? I don't think like he might. I think he's a good actor. Like I enjoy his acting, but he's also good looking. So is it good looks?
It's hard to. I don't know. Like I would have to like
how
we'd
many?
Have to case study this, Andrew. This is a scientific.
How many good-looking people that are bad actors get big roles, and how many great actors that are not good-looking don't get those roles? I mean, I think it
depends, like how, like because one could also say like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, like all these things of like
it's in the eye of the magazines.
Right. So you're saying like stereotypically good-looking people like tend to do well. Is it because I would also argue that there's like just as many, like I bet you there's there's like a ton of really good looking people also not getting the roles.
True. Okay.
And
Yeah.
but I also get what you're saying though. It's like, but then do they have equal chance with?
Yeah. Is there like a threshold you have to meet in order to be considered for a big role?
Like
that's,
you have to be like an 8 out of 10 or like.
Well, no, we're pro body image here. We're not going to throw out any numbers, but
I know, I couldn't help it because I was starting to think of like a scale.
Like what's who's the actor for Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. So he's in I saw it recently, and he's in the scene with the bar, and he's wearing that fur coat, and he's in the bar, and he's all suave with his like soon to be girlfriend, and then they get into his apartment, and he takes his jacket off, and he's just like ripped to shit. It's like, that's not an accident. Like,
no, I mean, he has all the money in the world to like pay for the best trainers.
But I'm saying
like
that scene like where he took his shirt off and is like, they had a nice little panorama.
No, it's not an accident.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Alexander Skarsgård running in slow motion in Tarzan at a gorilla that would like literally kill him with like a flick of his finger, but he beats him. That's like for us. Like I was like, I'll just rub shoulders with him and be happy, you know? Like that's great. Yeah.
It seems like we can't get away from the.
Now I'm being like, what's it called? I'm sexualizing men.
Are you being looksist?
I'm being looksist.
But I'm saying like
but
it's hard.
It isn't done. I don't think it's an accident. I think they know that it sells. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like sex sells.
Yeah.
That's not a cliche for no reason. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But I don't think it's the only way. I think it's the way that has been used, and they like to like, especially in the blockbuster movies, like, you know, they're throwing in like all the things that work and that people like and that they go to see. Like, I don't think like if you take like Blue Valentine, for example, I don't know if you've seen that film. Like, beautiful film. It's with Michelle Williams and Ryan Gosling, both good, great-looking people, right? Like, and they have a nude scene where they're like making love in the shower, and it's just like beautifully shot, but it's not done in a way that it's like sexualized. Like, it's shot for the story.
Okay.
And so I would argue that wasn't put there as like sex sells, you know. I think it was part of the story.
Do they have nice bodies?
See, that's interesting because I don't even remember.
Okay.
Like, I don't remember.
All right.
I remember like I remember how the scene was shot and watching it. Like, it's I mean, it's hard to like, you have to see the film because now I feel like a kind of a creep that I'm talking about it. But
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, it's like it's just really well done.
Do you think a guy with a beer gut could do the Tarzan scene that you were just talking about?
Real talk.
Because if the answer is no, then you're saying you have to choose.
No, I think they could totally do it.
No. Would they get picked for the
like,
role?
Would it
There's no
work?
need to sidestep the question.
Like, is that even an option?
What, having
like
Tarzan
casting
with
someone
a beer gut?
with a beer gut to do Tarzan?
Yeah, why? Of course it would be.
Would it work? Would it sell?
Oh, sorry.
You can say no.
No, I'm actually just thinking.
Just
like,
are you
maybe it would
picturing the
sell in
beer
a
gut
different
running
way.
down?
Yeah, exactly.
What does it look like? Are you attracted to it?
Like, I feel like it's.
It would be a comedy.
Yeah, I think but I think the slow motion would have a totally different like method because the belly would be moving, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what we're saying.
I think they would get
gotta
hired,
be...
but then they would also have. I honestly think a studio would be like, "Here's your contract, and you gotta have a 6-pack or something like that."
There's that threshold. That's what Thomas is saying, I think.
Yeah.
Totally, I fully agree with that for studio films. Yes.
Yeah, like, you know when you watch, like, when there's a new TV show on, like, CTV, and it's, like, what is it? Oh, like, Chicago Fire? Like, they
I don't
just...
know what that is, but...
Oh, man, so bad. I've never seen an episode.
So bad. Okay.
But it's like, they just took, like, a...
I've never seen an episode. It's so bad. That's so funny.
I just see the commercials. I'm like, I can't even. But it's like one of those classic shows where it's like a bunch of good-looking people in these high-stress environments, and A falls in love with B. It's like they took a random word generator and just like threw it into a computer and like spit out the script, and that sells though. That's my point. Like, it's like they know the algorithm to make a TV show that sells and gets views. And part of that algorithm is like good looking, confident people.
Yeah,
I think a big part of that is that we want to be like that. So you see that.
It's idealistic.
Yeah, and you kind of gravitate. We're like, oh, I like this character. You attach yourself to that character. You attach yourself to that character.
I 100% think you're accurate for sure. I think that's very true.
And then the unfortunate side of that is that the people that are in, for us, it's great, the viewers, but the people in the industry, if you don't fit the mold, if you don't fit the threshold, maybe you don't get that opportunity.
Yeah,
that's what I think
for sure.
And
I definitely agree with that. I think that's something. I think it could be a harder fight for, or do you know what it is? Is it's that I think it's also that like the leads have a certain type.
Yeah.
And that so there might just be more roles available to different types of people, which I wouldn't really know.
It seems that there's demand for that, so naturally the industry will supply that demand. Like we as the viewers subconsciously have a demand for like these alpha male good-looking characters, these very sexy, beautiful women. There's this demand. That's what we want to see. So at the same time, the industry has to supply that demand for that demand. So as a viewer, you're almost causing this maybe body image issue because we want to see that. Yeah. Right? Even in something like...
It's almost like the people who don't want to have... Like, it's like a vicious cycle is kind of what you're saying, is that like the viewers want to see someone a certain way, but then it makes them feel a certain way, and then they want to watch who they want to be more.
Yeah. Kind of well, that part of it too, but I'm saying the reason why actors and actresses in major roles and big TV shows are good looking is because we want to watch that. If you wanted to watch a Tarzan with a beer gut, there would be one. But we don't want to see that. We want to see a completely hairless chested 8-pack. And so that's what the industry will provide.
But I also think like with, I agree with what you're saying.
Because it sells.
And I do think that sells. I also think that like, I think it sells. I don't know if I like talking this way, even though I think you're right about a lot of this, is because it's so focused on looks. Yeah. Because I feel like we could also give the same amount of, which it is so focused on looks, the industry for sure. Yeah. But I also think there's a lot of like incredibly talented actors, probably the same amount of like stereotypically or like what is perceived as like good looks in our world. I think there's an equal amount of unique character actors who might not be perceived as like the lead actor, like right? Or am I making sense?
No, you're making perfect sense. Yeah, like there's still
but they don't get as much publicity and as much PR and as much whatever because they're not. The story isn't generally about those people because of like how stories are set up technically, and it. I mean, it really it should be. There should be leads of all different kinds, and studio films are. Like they're so stuck to the mold that works that like it took them however long to have an all black cast in a Marvel film. Yeah. Right? Like till Black Panther, and it's not till.
But only now is it cool. So now it happened. Don't you think that's interesting? Now it's accepted, and so now they did it. That's why it sold so well. I think they know exactly what they're doing.
But you think if Black Panther wasn't made 20 years ago, it wouldn't have done well?
If it was made 20 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
With an all black cast, you don't think there's enough black fans, like like African American fans, that would be so happy to have gone and seen it? And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just actually asking what you.
I think if they would have realized they wouldn't have made enough money, they wouldn't have done it. Right. And they wouldn't have.
Yeah, because it's all about money. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they make these studios make movies and TV shows for money. Yeah. And if they thought back then, okay, I'm not going to make the money I want or even break even, then no, I'm not going to do it all. Point? Exactly. But now they know they can do it. Yeah. So it's like, oh, it's revolutionary. It's a breakthrough. It is. And it's awesome. But they picked their time and place. they didn't wait this long.
Yeah, like it was long overdue.
They didn't wait this long because of the art. They're like, oh, now we can make bank. That's my opinion, and that's maybe very cynical.
No, I don't think it's cynical. I think you're right about it. Like, I think whether we'll never know if it would.
We won't know, yeah.
Except for that time machine in the other room. But
yeah.
No, we'll never know. But I do agree that. I do agree the studios are focused on money for sure.
Yeah. Especially
so whatever
the big,
dictates that decision.
Yeah. I think the one of the core issues, there's more demand for big blockbuster, flashy TV shows and movies than there is for the art. Mm-hmm. So since most of society just wants to be entertained, then that's what they're going to get. That's what studios are going to do.
Yeah, that's where the money goes.
And there's a less percentage of those people are the ones that really like the art of acting and want to go to see theaters to see plays. Or
I don't know if like anyone other than actors like really, well, not anyone, I shouldn't say that, really like love the art of acting. Like I think
so
the beauty of acting is that you don't see it, or you shouldn't see it, right? Yeah,
so there's all these fantastic actors that don't get the same recognition because there's not the same demand for that art. So that's and then I think that, and if I'm understanding you correctly, that's what plays into maybe the body image issue, is that there's this demand for the big studio sexy people, and there's less demand for the art. So you could be a great actor, but if you're not,
I mean, I think like honestly, with how many people there are, you have to be, you have to whatever especially when you're starting out, like unfortunately I think that you get typecast until you have the luxury of not being typecast. And so I think you have to, whether you're a character actor or you play like I have a friend who like constantly gets cast as in such a fantastic actor, always gets cast as like a villain or like a drug addict, and that's his type. That's what he looks like. That's how he plays. And I think you have to like be aware of everything you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. And
almost feed into it and get that work to hopefully be allowed to, like what you were saying about Johnny Depp, like maybe he was allowed.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy, your lover. Maybe you were allowed, like maybe they were allowed to do those other cool roles.
Exactly.
Because they had the talent, but also they had the luxury of people trusting them that they could do it. Because they had done all these other roles that fit their type before.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. They wouldn't have gotten those roles if they didn't have some ability and some talent, and they had all these great roles. But I think they had to meet the threshold first. That they're a sellable.
Yeah, it's probably a very rare case.
But they're a sellable market. That sounds
totally
awful, but
I mean, actors are like selling them. Like that's why I think a lot of people do get. Like I think there's a lot of actors who stop acting. Like a lot of people in my class that I graduated with, I'm like a great school, don't act anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it is there's a lot of, like it feels personal, because you play an instrument and it's your outside, it's the instrument and it's kind of easy to separate.
Yeah.
But it feels like if someone criticizes your acting, it feels very personal, or if you don't get roles, it feels personal.
Yeah, of course. Like you said, it's tough to get through all that. And you said you try and deal with it, but you're sensitive to that, and
I think it's really less now. That like I think with time, like you realize, but yeah, it definitely still get disappointed.
Yeah. So quite a journey the last 8 years. It sounds like.
I guess so.
Yeah.
We had a little discussion about looks there. That's funny. But I do think on all that, like it's I don't really know what's right or wrong with that stuff, because I would have to really see. When I think you're right about studio films, it's like, okay, what's going to make money? That's the answer.
Seems to be that way.
And it's like as simple as that.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. So there's a demand in the society.
And it's true, because not a lot of people go see like the art house films, kind of.
You gotta be a fan of the art.
Yeah.
Other people just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
You can't really blame people for that.
No, not
but
at
that's
all.
sort of the supply and demand of what you see on TV, I guess, is to put it simply. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So what's in the future for you? You just have smashing
Well,
film.
I'm going to be playing Catwoman, and then I'm going to be playing...
Actually,
I'm totally joking.
Catwoman would be badass.
No. I mean, it would be really, really awesome, but I don't think, like, following Michelle Pfeiffer and, like, Anne Hathaway's... I would love to play a superhero. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Are you going to stay in
what's in the
Toronto?
future?
And
Oh, well, I live in Montreal now.
oh, sorry, you're right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's I did live in Toronto. I live in Montreal now, and I'm going to stay there for a bit. My plans are to get my own work made, and so and I actually optioned a series from a friend of mine that I really loved, and that I optioned it because I want to play a role in it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm hoping after the film in the fall. That we can kind of get the series off the ground.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I mean, right now, like, I've got no work lined up other than the film, and it's kind of trying to, be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds tough.
Yeah.
You do a great job. I mean, to come this far, and
Thanks, Andrew.
yeah, no. I mean, Trisha's told me about all the things you've had to do, and now you had a successful film, and it's
that's
exciting.
nice.
Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to
No.
ask you questions? Okay.
I've only been asked one question. You can ask me questions, but I've only been asked one question on every episode combined. So, but you can if you want. No, I think that's everything I wanted to ask you. I always close it out by.
Wait, can I ask you one question?
Oh
then?
yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to stick on the topic of acting?
Oh, you can ask anything you want.
If you had to be one condiment, if you had to be one condiment,
Okay.
what condiment would you be?
Sriracha.
Oh, wow.
What about you?
That's just because you like eating it. Be more creative.
Yeah, thank you.
What other thoughts are there? Okay, what would you be?
No, I agree. What's your second choice?
Mayonnaise.
How is your This is literally just like what you put on a hamburger.
Well, is this a personality test?
No, I literally was gonna just ask you what role you like. If you were an actor, what role you would want to play? Like that already existed. Like if you could like be Han Solo or like Indiana Jones or someone like
any role.
Any role. Like you could even be a female role if there's one.
I think it would be a black dude, like Denzel.
It's definitely going to be Denzel. Just trying to pick
which
movie.
So if you were an actor, you'd be Denzel.
I think I'd be Denzel in Training Day.
Ooh.
I mean, we talk about alpha male. Whew, bombs.
That was a good choice.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I would definitely have to be in the original Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's so good. I used to watch that like once a week, I think.
I don't know who I would be. Maybe just an additional character in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There'd be 3 kids.
Wow. Just new role.
There'd be 3 kids in the park instead of 2.
And you would be like, I just grew fast for my age.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be like Caddyshack with Bill Murray, who just does weird scenes in the side.
Would be good.
Maybe
good
Bill
roles
Murray.
for you. Yeah.
I could be like Bill Murray in Caddyshack, but in Jurassic Park, doing weird scenes on the side every once
Do you
in a
like
while.
comedies?
Yeah.
I feel like by your questions.
Yeah, I like comedies.
Trish? Oh, Trish isn't on. Sorry, my bad. Trish isn't here. Edit this out.
Well, anyway, Kate,
Before we close,
Oh.
I think you should have the opportunity to tell the viewers about anything you're working on in the future.
Oh, I'll sure. I would love to.
Or things you've already done that people could see. Or
When is this coming out? Can I?
days, hours.
For real? Days?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say if it came out later, I would say, like, go see it at TIFF. But I'll say, you're going to cut all this out, right?
Yeah, we
What
can
I'm
cut
saying
things
now?
out.
Okay. Like, what do you want? Sorry,
Well,
what was
you
it?
got a film coming out at
yes.
Cannes.
Yes.
Did I
So,
say- yeah,
well,
is
it
that right?
already played there. So I guess
Okay.
you could look for April and Autumn next year in theaters, hopefully.
Right on. April and Autumn.
April and Autumn,
Okay,
yes.
awesome.
And you can also find the trailer for that online and any other information at www.aprilandautumn.ca.
Boom.
Oh, damn, I forgot it was being filmed and I'm acting like an idiot.
Anything else you worked on that
then,
people can check out? Because I know you've done...
And then there's a short film called The Terrible Trio, which is a Western.
Terrible Trio, okay.
Which you can just Google that up. It's still in festivals, and because it's a short, it probably will be available online, but it's a fun little short film.
Right on.
And then I'll be in The Bold Type, which is a freeform show, and it should be out, it's in the second season, and it will be out, oh my God, I don't know when it's going to be out. Maybe in the summer.
To be
continued.
To be determined. And if people want to contact you, obviously, because you're a fantastic actress or actor.
Thanks, Andrew.
How can they get a hold of you?
And
model,
they'll
apparently.
find my... No, oh my God, I don't model.
Okay, no modeling.
Model. No, I mean, I'll do anything for money.
So how can they contact you for acting?
Oh my gosh, sorry, this is going so off the wire. They can contact me. They would like for acting stuff.
Anything, yeah, just for your work.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
You write, you
I've
act.
had literally half a kokanee, and it's like, crazy over here. I guess they could. They can find me online if they Google my name, Caitlyn Sponheimer.
Caitlyn Sponheimer. Okay.
They should be able to find my agent, if not my phone number, somewhere, or Facebook or Instagram.
Right on.
I'll respond to anybody.
Anyone.
I'm joking. I'm very hard to get a hold of and very important. So.
And I'm booked for weeks.
Yep, I'm so booked. Oh my God.
Right on.
Schedule me in quick.
Right on. So you got a couple films and another one hopefully coming up, and another TV series.
And that one is called Red River. If anybody wants,
Yeah.
It's about Syrian refugees coming to Canada and struggles with finding work, and it's a very I just read the script actually 2 days ago, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
Beautifully
Red
written.
River. Okay.
Very excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Kate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. You've had one of the most interesting lives that I've got to meet. So
thank
I was
you.
looking forward to having you on.
Say that to everyone.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I was looking forward to having you on for a while. So I'm glad you're in town. You agreed to do this, and you wear your heart on your sleeve, and it's awesome. You can feel the authenticity when you talk, and you've got a great charismatic personality. So
thanks so much, Andrew.
And I know that carries through to your work. So thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Sweet.
Okay. Goodbye.